Hey everybody, welcome to your first lesson of the last unit of Honors Geometry. So it's on surface area and volume, so we'll just start with surface area for this week. So surface area is the sum of the areas of all the faces of a solid. So you just take each face, find the area using the respective area formulas, add them together. But this video will also help you find the the surface area of a cylinder, as well as the surface area of a cone, because those are slightly different, and you'll see. So a prism, this is just review. A prism is a solid with two congruent bases whose lateral faces are parallelograms or rectangles. So an example would be a triangular prism. And you can draw, there you go. You draw the two congruent bases and then connect the vertices. So the triangular prism has a total of 5 faces, 2 triangles, and then 3 rectangles. The height is measured as the perpendicular distance between the bases. A pyramid is a solid with one base whose lateral faces are triangles. So you draw the base. So in this case, I drew a square and then connected all the vertices to a point called the apex. And then the height is again the perpendicular from the base but up to the apex. Now, a cylinder is a circular prism. 3 faces. You have the 2 circles and then the rectangle around. And then a cone is a circular pyramid. Now, there's only 2 faces, the circle, and then you're going to see in a little bit the other face. So let's review all the area formulas as well as circumference, which will be used in this section. So it'll be a good idea to have these all on a kind of a cheat sheet. So area of a parallelogram, area equals base times height. Area of a triangle, 1/2 base times height. These were all derived at the beginning of the year. Trapezoid, that should be an H. Trapezoid, 1/2 H B1 plus B2. Circle, A equals pi r squared. Area of a sector, remember a sector is a piece of the circle. It's a fraction of the circle, so it's pi r squared times the fraction of the circle, which could be angle over 360, central angle over 360, or some other ratio. Regular polygon equals 1/2 SAN. S is the length of a side. A is the apothem. N is the number of sides. So what the heck was the apothem? So remember, any regular polygon can be split up into congruent triangles. The apothem is the height of those triangles. There you go. Circumference of a circle, C equals pi d or 2 pi r. Arc length is a fraction of the circumference, so it's circumference times the fraction, or times angle over 360. And then Pythagorean theorem is a squared plus b squared equals the hypotenuse squared, only for right triangles. Okay, so at this point, you should do the cylinder investigation, and then you can come back to the video when you're done or when you get stuck. Okay, so let's go to this video. So here's the cylinder, and we are taking apart the net. So that's the net, that's the unfolding of the cylinder, and you can see 3 faces, 2 circles, and a rectangle. Circle areas we know are pi r squared. So you have 2 pi r squared to start. Then we have the rectangle. Rectangle's base times height. This time, the base is actually a function of the radius of the circle, right? That's the circumference. So the base of the rectangle is the circumference. So it's circumference times height. Circumference is 2 pi r, so then times h, the height. So now we'll go back to the lesson and fill in these answers if you didn't already. So the net is 2 circles and a rectangle. Okay. The 3 faces are 2 circles, rectangle, and the area formula for the 2 circles, 2 pi r squared, right? Pi r squared plus pi r squared equals 2 pi r squared. The length of the rectangle is the circumference of the circle, as shown from the video, and the formula for that is 2 pi r. Write a formula for the area of the rectangle in terms of radius and height. So we know that the base is 2 pi r, and then the height is h. So the formula is 2 pi r h. Therefore, the surface area of the whole cylinder is 2 pi r squared plus 2 pi r h. So there it is. You can memorize it or just think about where it comes from. That's what I do, because I don't like to memorize things. You could also put this on your cheat sheet and it will go in your vocab list. Now we'll go on to the cone. So here's a picture of the net of the cone. We will find a formula for the surface area of the cone in terms of r, radius, and slant height, L. Okay, so that slant height becomes the radius of this shape here, which you might remember is a sector of a circle. Okay, now that circle is different from this circle, right? This circle has a radius of r. This sector has a radius of L. Okay, this circle goes with the base. This is up here. So what shape is the base of the cone? Circle. And the area formula is pi r squared. What shape is the rest of the net? Sector. Okay. Number 3, you may remember the area formula for a sector is A equals pi r squared times the fraction of the circle. Since we don't know the central angle, we will find the fraction of a circle using the ratio of arc length to circumference of the net. Okay? So you're going to imagine drawing this whole circle. We're finding what fraction of the whole circle is that. And we do that by the circumference. So the circumference, the arc length over the circumference. So what fraction of the circle is that? Okay. So the arc length of the sector in the net is equal to what part of the cone? The arc length of the sector is the circumference of the cone. Different from the circumference of the net, circumference of the cone. Write the formula for the circumference of the cone. 2 pi, and we're using r, not L just yet. Okay, let's go to the next question. Imagine drawing the full circle on the net, which I showed you, with the slant height as the radius. Write the formula for the area of that circle in terms of L, slant height. So that would be pi L squared. Okay. Now it says write your answers from numbers 3 and 4 as a fraction. So again, it's the fraction, what fraction of the circle? So it's arc length over circumference. Okay, so arc length is equal to 2 pi r, okay, over, so what fraction of the entire circle? That would be 2, oh, sorry, that would be 2 pi r over 2 pi l. Okay, so it's the circumference, this is the arc length, which is equal to the circumference of the base of the cone. This is the circumference of the full circle that we drew in, and then you multiply that by the area of that full circle, pi l squared. Oh, I just did number 7. Okay, so there's 6 and 7 put together. Okay, and this is what we call the lateral area. It's the total surface area of the lateral piece, not the base. So now we can simplify this, can't we? So pi's cancel, the 2's cancel, and the l's cancel. Well, you have one l left, right? Because that's l squared. So lateral surface area is pi r l. So therefore, the full surface area of the cone equals pi r squared, there's the base, plus the sector ends up being pi r l, because it's a fraction of the full area of this. So you have the full circumference, you have the arc length. Arc length is equal to the circumference of the cone. That fraction is the fraction of the area of this whole circle. Okay? So there it is. I would have that on your cheat sheet and your vocab. So add to your list. Surface area of a cylinder is 2 bases plus circumference times height. Okay, be prepared to explain where these come from. I'll probably throw one on the last test. And the surface area of the cone is pi r squared. So that's the one circle plus pi r l. L is the slant height, r is the radius. Okay? And that concludes the video. Go ahead and complete your assignment that follows. Have a good day. Bye-bye.